If you feel personally attacked every time your art looks bad, this is for you. Let's take a closer look to my art. It doesn't look bad, but it definitely looks horrible. I drew the hand and the ring of eyes like 2 years ago. I began to do the painting and then I didn't finish it because I didn't feel like it. And now that I feel a little bit inspired, I try to cover it up. And it's because I don't have a defined process, and every time that I try to paint, I give up drawing, give up painting for a little bit. And then I continue and don't give up. And then I realize, oh, it's about not giving up and trying again. I think we've all been in the situation of not understanding where to start, how to start, or how it's going to end up looking like. Because we imagine the art in our heads, but we realize that it's not that good. It's not going to end up that good. And then we have the idea of getting attached to a painting. I just decided that a piece of me is going to be represented in my paintings all the time, and I just believe this as a truth, right? But you need to realize that your art is not an evidence of your self-worth. It's actually just an evidence of your practice. Maybe I don't have a great practice with drawing faces, even though that's all that I draw, but it's not going to turn out perfect the first time that I try to paint it. There's people that are going to be good at doing that. But that doesn't mean their paintings are better than yours or than mine. It's just different. And in this case, attachment is not going to get you anywhere. We take a look at this painting and you could say, paint it black, and then you can paint something more over it and they'll be fine. Yes, I could totally do that. I just don't want to do that because I like the hand. I'm attached to the hand. So I already said that we don't have control over our paintings, right? It just turns out the way that we try to make it look like. We have a different thing in our head and we put it on canvas and it's totally a different thing. So this is going to start controlling you, your perspective of the world, basically, because you start valuing yourself by the way that you paint. And this control can actually do anything to you. It can make you feel sad, it can make you feel disappointed, it can make you feel even a little bit egoistic and narcissists at times, thinking that you're the best painter in the world if you make a beautiful drawing. But if that's not the case, then you're going to be depressed and the painting is going to start controlling you. But who is supposed to control the art? You, as the artist. And the truth is that I painted this 30 minutes ago, something that I did in the past. Time to move on. Time to probably change the painting tomorrow. Why should I be thinking when I can actually just rest my head and get inspired, get a creative awakening? And I believe as an artist, one of the first steps to get out of the fog and actually understand our process, our creative process, it's resting your head, resting your art, letting your art be, and letting your head get enlightened by that creative action, activity. And by resting, I don't mean literally sleeping, I mean walking, I mean doing things on your everyday basis, on your routine, that does not involve having to think too much about the thing that you try to be creative about. Okay, so if I want to rest from painting, I can go do exercising, cooking, walking, and eventually after trying to figure out my painting, I'm going to get a light of creativity when I'm doing these things, not specifically when I'm painting. And I say the word creative awakening very specifically because I'm building a book about it. So stay tuned. I'm going to drop it by November 30. If you're watching this after November 30, you can get it on the link on my description. You're going to love it. It's going to be a book full of activities so you get creative. The answer to your lack of creativity is within. You first have to make it exist and then you have to make it good. You just have to be honest be playful, because also art is about having fun, and also be very poetic. Romanticize your life because you're putting a little piece of yourself out there. But that does not represent you. Creativity is the encounter that you have with your inner world. Because what is the ultimate goal? You have to realize that you cannot attach yourself to your art if your ultimate goal is to just make art. Art does not represent you as a worthy person. You need to break your ego in order to make art. And when you're attached to something, you're operating from your ego. When you operate from your ego, you're not going to see things honestly, from a very genuine side of you. Let's think when we're babies or when we're kids. We're really interested in the way the world operates. So when we start painting as a little kid, we don't care if it's looking good or bad. We're just portraying what we feel like, what we see, what we hear, what we taste. We're just trying to portray things from ourselves, but we don't care about the result. And we don't care if the painting goes missing. We just put that out there and we feel so much better afterwards. It's like therapy. I truly believe that we as human beings, we operate from this, from love. So if you want to make art, make it with love. And you're not going to be attached to it because love is letting go. And I believe that all the time, us as artists, we should be operating from our true, genuine selves, which is our loving selves. When we paint something that just comes out of our head, it's also coming out of our hearts. Because if you are a sensitive person, let's make that clear. If you're a sensitive person, you're also going to experience this synesthesia that is going to be mixing all your senses and it's going to put that into a painting, right? I could be painting a taste, a sound, a touch. So all of this, it's going to be portrayed there, but it's something that I need to let go in order for it to be actually meaningful for the viewer. And thankfully, I have mastered this feeling of detachment from my art because throughout the years that I've been painting, which is like more than 12 years, I've experienced this slow death, ego death, through my paintings. I have gifted more of my paintings. I have actually made wonderful art pieces for family members that I've been like, if this was me at the beginning of my painting career, I wouldn't be giving this to anybody, even if they offered me like $10,000. Why is this easy to do now? It's because I know that more than the painting is me who is enjoying the moment. It's me who is putting a feeling out there that I was not ready to put out there if it wasn't for the painting. The painting is the vessel, but it's not the ultimate feeling of this relief. The relief, I save it for myself. So the painting is just a vessel, and I need to let go of that vessel in order to find new vessels, right? If I left this in the trash, I would be okay. Why would I care about something that is not actually representing my worth? So that way, I can truly be genuine and express what I want to express in the painting. If I want to paint the face red, I will do it because I don't care. The less you care, the more genuine you become about your thoughts and feelings because you don't have this pressure to actually fit in, to impress anyone, to the painting to look a certain way. You are being yourself without the need for it to be perfect, without your ego. And if you're an artist, I want you to think about this. Have you seen a painting, a really bad painting from someone that you like? Do you care? No, you don't, right? You go to an exposition and you're seeing the beautiful paintings and then you come across an ugly one. And it's like, you stop, think, but then you let go. You can't even remember an example of that. Probably one if it was really remarkable, but that's the whole point, right? It makes you think. Art is to make you think. Art is to represent a time period of your life and the world, humanity. Art can be beautiful, but is not the only thing that it has to be. The Vitruvius triangle has three important pillars here that are associated to architectural design, but I'm going to talk about it as if it was for art also, because I think it's the same thing. The first thing that it has to have is soundness, okay? It has to be strong. But if we think about art, it has to have a meaning. It has to have a heart. And your heart is not your ego. Your heart is what you feel. Your heart is your genuine self. That's the main thing and the first thing. The second thing has to be utility. It has to be worth of something. And for this, related to art, to other art, to abstract art, let's say, I think has to make the other person think, okay? The moment that you put meaning into something, it doesn't need to have a certain meaning, it just have to be from your heart in order for the other person to feel something. It can be completely different than what you're feeling, but it has to mean something. And the last one is attractiveness. But what is attractiveness really for the art? Nothing. Art can be ugly. Art can totally be ugly. So why do you care if that looks beautiful? That can totally be your fixation if you're a starter. Then you'll continue to develop more in depth the soundness and the utility part of the triangle. Then with practice, it's going to cut the attractiveness, because attractiveness is not only about the beauty that it has visually, or like depending on the feeling, depending on the art. It has a lot to do with feelings, with how your essence is portrayed in all these artworks, how your progress is portrayed, how this represents truly a part of humanity that is within you. And after talking about the things that you need to keep in mind about detaching from your artwork, we're going to go to practical tools. All of these practical tools are going to be available in my book of Creative Awakening Guide. I'm going to give you 3 that are going to help you the most. The first one is starting an ugly sketchbook. What if you just have a sketchbook that it's all about ugly drawings, ugly paintings? And I'm going to show you one because I think all of my sketchbooks are ugly, but they represent me the most. I don't know why. I'm just so free when I do whatever. We have a very beautiful, very beautiful. I won this in a urban sketching thing. But I'm going to show you the worst pages of the worst. Okay? It's not that bad though. Another one. This one was supposed to be a bag of chips, and I did another one and gifted it to the boy that I was going out with. This was like 2 years ago. We have a tiny gas station. Of course, we have nothing, absolutely nothing. Horrible trying to make shapes. A car. I don't know what this was. I think this was experimental. Nothing. It's just a sketch. This is my friend's drawing. It was upside down, I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell is this. What is this? I don't understand this either. And that was an ugly sketchbook. That made me feel very free. I was just putting pen on paper and that was it. I was not doing things that actually had a depth in the way that I wanted to portray them. I just wanted to put things out there. That was it. And people that seen those things were like, what is this? They were confused, intrigued, but they felt something, right? Another tool that I use all the time is try to do timed pages and even timed digital drawings. That can help a lot because you're not going to be worrying about it being perfect. You're just going to worry about making it on time. You're putting your focus on something else rather than the result. And the last one, which is the most practical one, if you try to get this thing out of your head, which is making it so beautiful, is just post. Post without thinking twice. If what you did makes you feel something, then it's right to post. Stop overthinking about it. So make one ugly page tonight and let me know how it was, how it felt, what awakened inside you. And I highly suggest you buying my Creative Awakening Guide. Love you so much. Thank you for watching.